Nick's phone rang. Without wasting a second, he picked it up and said, "Did you find the number?" "No, sir, I didn't." "Is it an emergency that can't wait until tomorrow?" "It's already late," the HR manager responded. "Leave it, thanks," Nick said, and hung up. "I think I have to notify Mr. Hawkins, but he will kill me for sure," Nick thought to himself. Gathering his courage, Nick called James. To his surprise, he heard James's recorded voice saying, "This is James Hawkins. Please leave a message." What? He never turns off his phone? What's going on? Nick wondered. He dialed again, but got the same response. He left a message and said, "This is Nick. The girls are missing. I think they have been kidnapped." At that moment, Nick realized that he had to take matters into his own hands. He re-entered the club and asked the security, "I need to check the CCTV camera recording. It's an emergency." "Sir, your request is impossible. To be allowed, you have to get our boss's approval." The security responded respectfully. Nick said with frustration, "3 girls have been kidnapped from your club. Doesn't that sound like an emergency to you? You said it yourself. The cameras are for security purposes. If we wait until tomorrow when your boss is here, we might be too late." "I am sorry, sir, but that's the rule. I could lose my job here," the security officer repeated. "Okay, call your manager here, immediately." Nick's anger was beyond its peak. After a few minutes, the manager arrived, surprised to see Nick. Of course, he knew who this man was. James's secretary. The Hawkins family were the greatest shareholders of this club, and he knew he could lose his job if he didn't listen to Nick. "How may I help you, sir?" the manager said with fear, seeing the anger burning in Nick's eyes. Nick said in a commanding voice, "I need to check the security cameras now." The manager, with fear, allowed Nick into the security room. They watched the records, and after an hour, they saw what happened. They saw the girls going outside alone, and Nick pointed out, "See, sir? No one could kidnap people in a club full of people. Maybe not inside. They might have waited for the girls to go out because it doesn't add up how they got drunk over a few drinks." Nick responded. He was devastated. Play back the video a little bit. He saw where the waiter spilled drinks on the girls and noticed where the waiter poured something into their drinks. "Bring this waiter now," he commanded in anger. The manager, trembling slightly, hurriedly summoned the waiter identified in the CCTV footage. As the minutes ticked by, Nick's impatience grew. When the waiter finally arrived, he looked nervous, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. "What's the matter, sir?" the waiter stammered, trying to feign innocence. Nick, maintaining his stern expression, pointed to the incriminating video footage. "Explain this. What were you doing when those girls were here?" The waiter's face turned pale as he stuttered, "I didn't do anything wrong, sir. I was just serving them drinks." Nick was having none of it. "Don't play games with me. I saw you spiking their drinks. Now tell me why." The waiter, realizing the gravity of the situation, confessed, "I was paid to do it. Someone offered me a lot of money to drink those girls' drinks. I didn't know it would turn into something like that." Nick's anger intensified, but he needed information. "Who hired you? Why would anyone want to harm those girls?" The waiter hesitated, fearing repercussions. After a stern glare from Nick, he reluctantly revealed, "I don't know the person's name, but they said they had a score to settle with that black lady." Nick recalled the moment when Radula joined the girls. She said something to a guy who was hitting on Orga that made him leave the table in anger. Nick played the part where Lucas approached the girls and showed the waiter. "Is it this guy?" The waiter, without hesitation, pointed at Lucas with a trembling voice and confirmed, "It's him." Realization hit Nick like a ton of bricks. "Ah, it's him. Where did they take the girls? Tell me." The waiter said, "I don't know, but I heard something like Rock Lodge." Without wasting a moment, Nick called the police, informed them of the situation, and provided a location. He then raced to the spot, hoping to reach the girls before any harm befell them. As he approached, the gravity of the situation sank in. He realized that his quick thinking and determination were the only things standing between the girls and potential danger. The rescue operation was underway, and Nick couldn't shake the feeling that he might not take it if something happened to Orga. Inside the lodge, the group was drinking and preparing for the fun they were about to have. Girls were lying on the ground begging for mercy as the group laughed. "Boys, this night is going to be fun," said Lucas, without knowing that in a few minutes, that so-called confidence and happiness would hurt them. One of them stood up and took Maggie into the room. She kept screaming, but they had zero hope that they would be saved. She struggled to fight him, but she was too weak to do anything. Other boys in the group said to Lucas, dragging her to another room, "We're going to enjoy this proud girl who offended you." Rajula cried out, begging, "No, please don't do this. I have money. You can have it all." The guy laughed and ignored her. In the room where Maggie was, the guy took off his pants, ready to harm her. But before he could do anything, he heard the police voice. "Your hands up? This is the police." The police handcuffed Lucas and the other boys who were caught in action, but the girls were losing it. The head of operations instructed other officers to check all the rooms. Here they were, and they found Maggie lying on the bed. "Are you all right, ma'am? Are you hurt?" one of the officers asked her. She shakes her head and says, "Thank you for being here on time. I am fine. He's hiding in the closet. Please find him." In the living room, Nick rushed to pick Orga up. Orga, in a small voice, said, "Maggie, is she fine? Please help her. She's the only person I have. Tell me she's good. They didn't harm her, right?" Nick, with emotion, said, "Please don't say anything more. You're all fine. Now calm down. We're going to the hospital." Orga, realizing that this man was not a detective, said, "But who are you? Why did you save us? You are not a detective, right?" Without hesitation, Nick responded, "That's not important right now. Your life is the priority. As for who I am, you'll find out soon. Now." The police took the men to the police station, and the girls were carried to the hospital,